So in this video, you're going to see about what is arrays. Okay. So till now, what you have studied is about declaring a single variable, right? So for example, if I want to store a mark of one student, then what you used to do? You used to take a variable and you will store the marks there, right? If you, for example, if I want to store the mark of 10 students, then what you will be doing? You will be taking 10 different variables and you will be storing the marks, right? So suppose if I want to store 1000 marks, means 1000 students mark, right, or 2000 students mark, then it is a very tough job, right? So this is where you have the arrays into the picture. Okay, so that is why you want an array. Why do you want an array? So array is nothing but, what is meant by array? Array is nothing but, I can tell that it is an ordered series, right? Ordered series, or it can be an arrangement. So in C, an array is defined as a collection of similar data elements. So let me put it in this way. It is just similar to that of your library. Keep a picture of the library of your college. Okay, so when you go to the library, you will be having a rack completely allocated for your, say, for computer science. Another rack will be completely allocated for your electronics, where you will be having the textbook of your electronics. Say, for example, in the computer science itself, you will be having a separate row will be allocated for introduction to C programming. Then you will be getting all the similar textbook, right? So in this array also, in C also, an array is a collection of similar data elements. Say, for example, if you want to store the marks of 100 students, then you can use a variable which is consecutive memory elements allocated for the different students, right? So first student mark can be entered in the first element, second student's mark can be entered as second element, etc. So your basically your arrays can be of 1D, 2D and multidimensional, 3D, etc., which is also called as multidimensional. So now we are going to see what is your one-dimensional representation. The compiler has to differentiate how, whether it is 1D or 2D. So first we will see what is your one-dimensional representation. So your one-dimensional representation is given by, you will be having a single row. Okay, so say for example, this is your array A, and single row you can store all the values. Okay, and these are called, it is denoted by the subscript, it is called as index. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So single row you have different columns. Okay, so this element is called, first element is called as A of 0, second element is called as A of 1, third element is called as A of 2, fourth element A of 3, right? A of 4, A of 5 and A of 6. So always this index is enclosed in between a square bracket. So let me complete these points. So I can tell that an array is a collection of similar data elements. This is very important. These data elements have the same data type. So if it is an integer, all the values should be integer. If it is a float, all the values should be of the same float data type. If it is a character, it should be, the element should be of, all the elements should be a character. Okay. So the elements of the array are stored in consecutive memory locations and are referenced by an index, also known as the subscript. That is what I have told. It is indexed. And here one of the peculiar feature is that the index always starts with a 0. Okay. So if the length here is 7, right? 1, 0, 1, 2, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The length is 7. The index will be 0 to n minus, if n is equal to 7, 0 to n minus 1, 0 to 6, because the index always starts with a 0. The index can be called as your, another name is subscript, or it is also called as your bound. Lower bound is called as lower index, upper bound is called as your upper index. So in this case, what is your lower bound? It is 0, right? What is your upper bound? It is 6. These are the different names in which you can identify this. So now you normally you will be declaring, till now you have studied the declaration of the variables. Similar to that, you have to declare the array also. So declaring an array means specifying three things. What are the three important things you have to specify? The data type, the name and the size. So for variable, how did you declare? Int, right, means data type and your variable name. Let me write it here, data type and your variable name. Okay, variable name. This was your ending with a semicolon. This was your declaration of your variable, right? For the case of array, in addition to your data type and variable name, you are going to give a size also enclosed inside a square bracket. That is the only difference. Okay. The data type, what it will signify, what kind of values it can store. Example is integer, character, float, etc. Name, the name given to the variable, right? So in this case, the name of an array, you are talking about array. So name specifies the name given to an array to identify the array, and size. Size is the maximum number of values that the array can hold. What is the size of the array? So maximum size, that is denoted inside a square bracket. Array of 100 means, okay, so the array can hold maximum size is your 100. Okay, so that is the meaning. So here there is an example, int a of 10. So what is your int? It is your data type. What is your a? Name of the variable, and 10 is your size of the array. So what will your memory look like? So this is your 10 elements, right? Element 1, element 2, 3, 4, 5th element, 6th element, 7th element, 8th element, 9th element, 10th element. So because here the maximum size is declared as 10, what is your array name? A, right? So that is why here you have A. A of, what is your index? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So index, so if you want to access an element of the array, if for example, if I want to access your 5th element, then what will be? You have to give a of 4. Okay, always your 5th element means it will be minus 1. Why? Because the index is starting from 0. So you can access the element by giving a of 4. So similarly, if you want to access the 3rd element, it will be a of 2. If you want to access the 9th element, it will be a of 8. See, these are some of the important points which you have to remember about arrays. So syntax is equal to data type, variable name, and size.